ProView, this is fantastic. But before, of course, a quick introduction of myself. I go by Oki, as you all know. I head up our customer engagement or sales enablement, everything from sales, customer success, training and education, the webinar series, project management, deployments, you name it. I am that jack of all trades for us, which I love to be. It gets me more involved with the company, gets me more involved with our partners like yourself. But any of those technical questions, of course, ask me, and we'll get you really going in the right direction. So today, what the agenda looks like, it's completely focused on ProView, which is fantastic. So we're going to delve into a little of what is ProView for Brilliant. How do you sign up for it? We're going to walk through the dashboard from the, website experience or the dashboard experience on your computer versus exploring what the ProView experience means in our app. So it's two separate experiences that have slightly different capabilities, but joint together with how we already operate, with what you're already doing, to really make it as seamless and streamlined as possible for you. Then after reviewing it here on the slides, I'm going to give you a live demo of it for an actual system. So we'll add my house here into Brilliant ProView. You can see how that's done for all your existing deployments, and also see how you can create new homes within the dashboard. So when you're out in the field, you're then ready to jump into that home and configure Brilliant devices. So we'll give you a demo, and then of course at the end we'll have open questions, a little AMA, as we always like to have a little AMA or Ask Me Anything, just to make sure you feel your voice is heard and we're getting all that right information out to you. So ProView. What is it? How does this operate? What does it mean for you? This is our professional monitoring tool. And before I delve into all the features and benefits of what ProView is going to be bringing to you, I really want to talk about for a quick minute here the evolution of the last year. So those of you that have been gracious enough to join us from early on, all the way to in the last year to today, and maybe you're a bit more recent, we had a dedicated commitment to the professional channel a little more than a year ago. And we've been able to really deliver on those promises. And that's been a very exciting point for me with the leadership and the ownership group to say, yep, we're committed to the professional channel. We raised our price points and margins for you. We cut retail, no more Amazon, no more Best Buy, no more Home Depot, no none of that stuff. We are coming out with PoE at the end of the year that'll be available for purchase, which we showcased at CEDIA. And now this, a professional dashboard for you to be able to look into all your clients' homes if you want, and really manage those systems. It's a common feature that we see in the professional world, which is why it's going to be free for you to sign up for and have and utilize. Again, that's just how we're trying to bring more value. We're dedicating ourselves to the professionals like yourself. So I could not be happier with the direction that we're moving, how we've been able to deliver on these features that you find value in and make you a more successful professional out there in the world. So super, super happy with the way things are going. So delving into the ProView, it's our professional management tool. Just some key points. This is, coming out, so I want to temper expectations. It's not going to be the most robust thing in the world. It's not going to do everything for all people, but at the same time, we're now highlighting for you a quick, easy way for you to remotely assist your clients. Maybe you can diagnose and fix things without having to do a truck roll and offer a better level of customer support to your clients. So you can choose to build this in as maybe something you bill. Hey, we'll remotely monitor your system for X amount per month, and that'll be all the devices. We can help you set up things remotely. Like if you want to adjust the motion settings on controls, you can do that remotely. If you want to create scenes remotely, you can do that. If you want to add integrations remotely, you can do that through our system now. So we're able to really deliver on that. You can view all the past homes, so I'll show you how to add those past homes in that you've delivered, as well as create new homes, like I mentioned, within the portal. And additionally, this is free. It's an upsell opportunity for you, really just making you a more well-rounded professional when it comes to building a smart home experience. So the biggest thing is, how do you sign up? How do you get your team signed up for this new feature? All you have to do is email proview@brilliant.tech, and you'll want to include all the members that you want to have join. So that can be your entire team, maybe just one or two people, but we'll have a main admin and then people that are on your team that you can then, add and subtract and bring in more as you hire more, or remove as if they unfortunately move on from your business. So you do need to be a professional partner of Brilliant. If you're not a professional partner, we're not just going to light that up. So we do a quick review, make sure you are in fact a professional partner of ours. And then from there, we'll light you up and you'll have access as an admin or within the organization. So you quickly agree to the terms and conditions of it, and then you'll go to the website, which is admin.brilliant.tech, and log in with those credentials that we just provided. So you'll be bookmarking admin.brilliant.tech to get access to it. This is what the basic admin looks like. So it's saved to access your invite. You log in, and now you can navigate your organization. So it's going to be pretty basic, and we're going to delve into each of those features a little bit further here. So of course, you'll see your organization name, which in this case is just Joe Electric. You can invite people, admins in, you can remove admins, you can edit the name. You can also see your objective homes, and you can most importantly set your alert preferences. So with the alert preferences, that can be if a control is dropped offline, which is usually the biggest piece, and then how you want to be notified about it, whether you do want those email notifications or if you do not want those email notifications. Within viewing those specific homes, you can click on the homes. We'll have that dashboard. You'll see 124 Sesame Street, Cat Shack, Eisenhower. Of course, just example homes that we have for you there. So you can see into the homes. You'll be able to add a new home in. So this is if you know you're going to be configuring a home for a client. So maybe you've secured the business and you want to prep that initial step before going on site. You can absolutely do that. And again, this is a great way to be able to configure a home without having to use the end user's phone. So it's under your account, and then you'll transfer that home in the end, which is fantastic and easy to do. You've now granted them access into the home. You don't have to borrow their phone. You don't have to worry about any of the dual auth that comes with setting up Brilliant. It's all taken care of. So you can view all your homes, and that's how it's populated. So for the existing homes though, this is a big piece because you've done already a bunch of these smart home deployments. How do you retroactively get those back into Brilliant? For the existing homes, you will need to have that end user invite one of your admin emails into the home. So I'll show you how to do this when we do My Home in the demo portion of this. So if you are the email, so that end user, let's say it's myself, ryan.okimoto@gmail.com. I go into My Home, the Okimotos. I'm going to add my ProView email in. Maybe it's just my work email, oki@brilliant.tech. By adding that professional email in that's associated with ProView, that home will now populate in your dashboard, and you can click on that home and see all the devices. So for me, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 Brilliant controls. No, you'll see 4, yeah, because I have a PoE Brilliant control. You'll see 4 Brilliant controls and what? 1, 2, maybe a handful of dimmer switches. Most importantly, you'll also see all the integrations that I have tied in and all the speakers within the integration. So all that information is populating there. A great way, again, for you to look and observe. And then, like I mentioned, for any new homes that you're adding, you can set up a new home. It can be done in the app, but you can also, of course, create it in the dashboard. So you know, hey, I have my guys going to these 3 homes today. I can populate those homes in the dashboard. So now they can see those existing homes when they're on site in the Brilliant app, configure those homes, and then add that homeowner in. So again, it's what is my strategy? What is my play? Am I trying to bring homes into Brilliant that I've already deployed? Or am I creating no homes for my team to go out and then configure out there in the world? So 2 different ways to go about it. As far as the details page, again, we're going to show you the control that are connected. It's Wi-Fi signal strength. We can also reboot the controls remotely. That's a really nice feature to be able to have because I cannot tell you how many times, like, hey, you do a truck roll and then you just simply turn it off and turn it back on. You don't have to do that. You don't have to roll a truck for any of that. You can access that remotely. Just let the clients know, hey, just so you know, things might drop offline for a hot second. We want to turn it off and turn it back on, clear any sort of cache. When in doubt, I always say, did you turn it off and turn it back on? And if you call our support line, generally they're skipping by that because we hope you've done that task already, but we can remotely reboot the controls, which is going to solve most of the issues and everything comes back online. But check your connectivity strength, see all those third-party integrations that are tied in. We can even adjust the home passcode settings. The home passcode isn't used that often. It's that 4-digit code to get in for if you set the child lock, if you set the settings lock. It's initially set up in the app when you're first configuring a system. Oftentimes that's forgotten, and then they enable one of these features and they completely forget, oh crap, what was my home passcode settings lock number? 4-digit number, by default, it's, You actually have to input it. I always tell people 1111, 1234, because that's super safe and secure. But change it on their own, make it the address, make it something else. You'll see mine in my house, and when I've done the in-home demos, you know it for me, so you can steal my entire identity off that 4-digit code. But again, you can reset that home passcode and change that in detail, which is fantastic. Looking into the controls a little bit deeper, we can also double check that these have been programmed the proper way. So you can see the device name, what it's wired to. Most importantly, the light name, the load details, so if it's a dimmable or an on-off switch, or if it's a fan, or if it's just a light that's not dimmable, and the room that it's assigned to. So if it's in a 3-way, it would go ahead and show that. It'd show you your line side or load side. You have all those details there to make sure, yep, how we configure it is how we actually wired the system. It'll show you, again, the connectivity and its last software update, so you know if it's on the latest and greatest to the software, and the last ping to the Brilliant server, just to make sure it's making that communication. And we can manually ping the servers as well. If you went into settings, connectivity, advanced, you can actually say ping brilliant.tech, just to make sure, yep, my controls are in fact talking to Brilliant, so they're getting that proper communication up to the cloud. So all of that is there. And again, viewing the third-party devices, we're going to see what they are, see if they're connected or not, and their on or offline status. So I do want to make it clear, if devices are offline, there's nothing that Brilliant you can actually do with an offline device. Chances are that might need to be going out there, but at least you know specifically which devices are offline and what's happening. For me, a great kind of use case is when we look into my home, we're going to see a device that's offline, and that's a corner lamp that I have a smart bulb in back in my man cave. That's generally always off. I don't have it timed to any lighting or automation. So the smart bulb, I still have to go to the lamp and click it on. Then that smart bulb is getting power. Then it comes back on. But it's a nice little status so you can know, oh, wait a second, why is that maybe bulb offline? Oh, that's right, it is plugged into a lamp. If they're asking questions, hey, did you make sure that lamp is getting power first? They click on the lamp to turn on for power. Now that smart bulb comes online. So it will help you troubleshoot, but it's never going to be a true fix for fully being on site, but at least you're guided to know what the problem is and how to diagnose it a little bit further. So again, very helpful there. So that was from the dashboard experience. If we move on to the mobile app is where you're going to be doing more of that hands-on configuring, troubleshooting, just as you configured the Brilliant system in the mobile app. Same thing here with ProView. By accessing ProView, you can log into all of those different homes now across your integration. So we'll show you on the app, and I'll give you that live demo, all the homes that I'm tied into. But right here, I believe you can see my mouse where it says 124 Sesame Street. When you tap that down arrow, that's where it populates all of the different homes. So you can quickly and easily jump in between the homes. And now it's like you're that homeowner. You can get to lights, you can get to music, you can get to camera, shades, access, all of those integrations that you have. If you need to add another Brilliant device, go into the settings and add that Brilliant device. You can see, of course, which devices are online and offline, adjust your motion, adjust your scenes, adjust your, anything you want to activate a scene on a double tap. All of that programming you can now do remotely by just logging into the home. So quickly jump in between homes. Now, one thing that is key is for resident privacy or end user privacy and security. When you're logged in as the professional in our ProView version, the cameras have been disabled. So you will not be able to live view any of those cameras. And again, all the security features we normally have, the red light coming on the control, they still have the physical plastic shutter. If the camera was disabled by default in setup, you wouldn't be able to access the camera. But specifically when you're logged in as a professional, you cannot live view the cameras. And again, that's for that homeowner's privacy and security. We want to make sure they're feeling safe and secure. And you can even show them, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I know I'm logged into your home, but look, I can't get into those cameras because that is for you, as that's a very sensitive issue. But all the mobile functionality is there, which is fantastic. And again, you can create things remotely. You don't have to roll that truck to go on out there. So we look at the big picture of what is the difference between the mobile and the web and kind of how it's used. So On the mobile side, that's generally where you're going to be a bit more active in helping your clients, maybe troubleshoot and create the kind of white glove value that you provide. So you can create the home on site if it's a new configuration. You're able to configure Brilliant, all the third-party devices, everything that you know and love. Set up the gestures, the motion, the scene, the sliders, that true white glove experience. You can hide and remove the third-party devices. You can invite the homeowner in. That's how we transfer the home to the homeowner. All of those pieces are built in, and you can also do it remotely as well. The things that we will not do from the mobile app is we won't give you any sort of alerts. That's not managed through the app. We'll only see if devices are online or offline. And like I just mentioned, we're going to remove the ability to look into the cameras. So mobile is where you're going to be a little more powerful in what you can do for your clients. As far as the web browser, the desktop, that's your 30,000 foot view of what's happening in the organization. You can create a home beforehand so your techs know which home specifically they're going to. Generally, just make it the address of the home, which is simple and easy. You can, of course, invite and transfer to the homeowner. We can invite the ProView admin email for future use and monitoring. And this is where you'll set up your alerts for things that are offline, which is the key piece to it. If you know you need to troubleshoot or maybe handle something while you're out there in the field or handle an issue before it becomes an issue for your client, you'll be able to set your alerts on that part. What the desktop version will not do, and I know this is something that you're wanting, is configure the Brilliant devices. We're still exploring the best and most simple means to be able to do some pre-configuration for you. So I'm not going to say never. This is, again, just the initial launch of ProView and the experience. So in a perfect world, I can pre-configure everything here on the dashboard. I can then go put the Brilliant in the wall, scan the QR code, and it pops up and it's done. We're not quite to that level yet, but definitely something we're exploring on what's going to be the simple and easiest for you. So sit tight. I know that's going to be one of those, hey, can Brilliant do this? Not yet is the answer there. In addition, we can't do any of those custom white glove settings from the web dashboard. That's handled directly in the app. And then hiding and removing Brilliant and third-party devices, again, that's done directly in the app as opposed to the web view. So again, a web view is going to be your 30,000 foot view in the dashboard, which is admin.brilliant.tech, where the technicians, where maybe you, if you are the tech, where you're going to be actively kind of managing all those individual homes, that's going to be done through mobile. So two different experiences on how to bring it to life. So with that, we're going to give you the live demo right now. So I'm going to stop my share in. So I'm going to go into my home right now. So how do we get this home into my ProView dashboard here? So I'm going to go to the settings gear on the upper left, go to Brilliant Home and Devices, and you can see here's my home, the Okimotos, and those are the devices, the dimmers, the plugs, the phones, all of that. But if I need to add that professional in, so let's go ahead and add me in. So I'm going to press invite. I'm going to put Oki plus ProView at brilliant.tech. I can type CH. So Oki plus ProView at and brilliant.tech. There we go. So I've already created my profile. Oki plus ProView at brilliant.tech is my professional login. That would just be your professional login that we asked you to send. So I'm going to send that invite out, and now it's pending the invite. So an email has been sent. Let's go ahead and check my work email real quick. Brilliant customer support right there at the top. You've been invited. Let's go ahead and accept the invite. Open up the default web browser. Hey, we take security seriously. We have a dual authentication that we want to manage for you. Oop, I'm screen sharing there. Actually, I should probably minimize that. Not sure if you see that. So let's go ahead and go back to my Gmail. And we're going to go, hey, Brilliant verification code right there at the top. 44351. 144351. And sure enough, now we're in. So again, this part of my app, this is I'm the technician. There's all the different homes that I have access to. Great, Yash Test Home. You can see I've done this a couple times in here. I have access to all of those homes. I believe my home is the Okimotos. That is this house right here. So I'm going to tap into the Okimotos, and sure enough, here's my house. I want to go to cameras just to show there's all my different cameras that I have available. If I go to the lights, I can get to all the lights that are there, the rooms, the scenes, all of it's tied in together as I'm logged into the Okimotos. And of course, I can jump homes. If I want to go into the press house, Yash's test home, all these other homes, they are all there. So here's where I can go in. If I need to adjust any of my settings, I can go ahead and do that. If I need to create a new scene for that client, I can go ahead and do that. All of that is there and available. So again, quickly jumping between homes, I can tap that down arrow, jump to that home that I need. Let's go to that, let's see which one. I think Yash Test Home 1 has maybe some devices. Yep, all lights on and all lights off. I can go into 321 Electric Avenue. Hey, I can upload photos if I want there. I can jump into any of my homes that I've already delivered. It's all there and simple for you. So that's going to be your app experience. Let me go ahead and stop my share. And I'm going to share my screen to this one. So here's the website at the top. If I were to go to admin.brilliant.tech, it populates right here. This is the website you're going to bookmark for the dashboard view. There's my information, Oki plus ProView at brilliant.tech. Let's go ahead and log in. Of course, another dual authentication, as we do, comes here to my phone. Let me check my phone, and my dual authentication is 9370085. Validate our code. And here's my organization. There's Joe Electric, and here's my profile. Check out my account details. Great, I put all that in. If I go back, I can click on Joe Electric, and here's my 11 homes, the admins, the alert preferences. So if I click on admins, there's those same people that we saw as the admins when we invited myself into the home. Again, everybody in my organization of Joe Electric now has access to that home. To invite another member in, invite. Great, I can invite Catherine if I wanted to at brilliant.tech, and then I could send that invite out and she would get populated with an invite. So here's where you can manually add and remove any of those people. If I want to remove somebody, I click the trash can and remove them from being an admin. Click back on Joe Electric. Let's look into these 11 homes. So I'm going to tap on homes, and here's all of those homes that we have. So mine, 10 total Brilliant devices, 12 integrations. You've seen my in-home demo. I have a lot of stuff here. So let's click on my home. All right, let's delve a little bit deeper. I have my dining room PoE control. Its Wi-Fi status is not connected, of course, because I'm hardlined in with the Ethernet. That's why it says not connected. My kitchen control is good. Living room control, excellent. She shed control is good. I have my dimmer switches of the garage light, guest bathroom switch. They're all there. Let's go ahead and check some of the settings. I checked the settings gear for that dimmer switch. I can see the device name is the garage light. It's assigned to the garage. Load configuration, it's a standard light assigned to the garage. Quick, simple, and easy, just like that. If I were to go back into my house and let's go to one of my controls. Let's go to my she shed control. You generally don't see that one because my wife's always working over there. But again, it's the she shed control assigned to her she shed. The two different ones, I have a sconce and the can lights. The sconce are dimmable as a dimmable light. Same thing with the can lights, dimmable light. All my information, all my details are right there. If I needed to reboot the reboot control option is right there. Additionally, I could reboot it directly from this spot in here. So we have all those different pieces. Scrolling further down, all my different integrations. There's my Ecobee. Yep, I have my one thermostat. My Somfy, my two shades. My LifeX, I mentioned earlier, I have one device that's going to be offline. I know this device is offline because it's just the lamp that I've turned the power off to. I don't have it on a smart plug that's always on. So I can click and I can see, that's which specific one. The man cave lamp is off. So now I know if I'm troubleshooting, that's the place I directly go to. And if it's an easy thing that's offline, great, we fix it. Otherwise, for me, I know this is supposed to be offline. There's my aggressive 9 rooms of Sonos. Yes, I live in 1,100 square feet. Yes, I have 9 rooms of Sonos. Yes, there's still an opportunity to add more in. I could get more in the, actually the wife's primary bathroom. She needs one, she refuses. Hey, that's how we work. But my Total Connect integration is there, my Wemo. Adjusting my home passcode, which I mentioned is there for the settings lock and the child lock. I can go to my home passcode. You've all seen my home passcode before. I've changed it multiple times, but I can pick a new passcode, 1234. Then that change home passcode option appears. So I can change my home passcode if I need to. Quick, simple, and easy. So really these tools are designed to work in conjunction with each other. It's not one is better than the other. It's just defining what am I trying to do? What am I trying to accomplish? That would dictate how I'm handling it. The last piece I didn't click on was just the alert preferences. Hey, if a device is offline, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. I prefer just an email. Or if I don't need to be noted about this for this specific one, I can toggle email off. Great, now I don't have to worry about it. I can just manually come in and check if I want, if that's a part of my day-to-day operations. So it's as easy as that. I'll leave it checked for me just because I kind of like to know. I don't need to set up a text message. It's not that urgent, but maybe you do have a VIP client that you want to get a text message for. So when they reach out to you, you can say, yep, we saw it. We're on it. We're here to help you out. So again, it's how you structure your business, how you want to tackle it. But with that, that's the demo of ProView. Pretty straightforward and simple to start. We're going to be evolving this over time to try and add more features for you. So let me go ahead and pull up. We're sharing this one. And so now is the final part of it, the AMA, the questions, and the next steps. So of course, the first thing we want you to do, if you want access to it, again, it's completely free. You email ProView@brilliant.tech. Tell us your organization. You are the primary person, and any additional people and emails that you want associated to your organization. So put that all collectively in one email. If you want direct training and education from myself, go ahead and reach on out to me, oki@brilliant.tech. It can be sales, it can be technical. I can review ProView with your team. Anything you might want a refresher on. We want to make sure you are feeling 100% confident when you're going out on these deployments in everything Brilliant has to offer for you. You also want to bookmark admin.brilliant.tech because that's where you would log into ProView. That's the main spot. I believe, I'm trying to think, your purchasing portal is partners.brilliant.tech. So if you don't already have that bookmarked, you'll bookmark partners.brilliant.tech. But we do, of course, have admin.brilliant.tech as that secondary one for you to access ProView. And then keep your eyes out for our next newsletter. Always great highlights, updating you about webinars, what we've been up to, where we're going to be. And speaking of where we're going to be, we encourage you to join Ring's webinar next month on November 11th, which I believe is a Tuesday. I'm going to be joining Mark Lee, who heads up their Builder channel, and Tommy Leonard, who I believe runs their Eastern Regional. We have something new and exciting that we're going to be sharing and partnering together. Really excited about this because it further shows how we're making the existing product better for existing clients that you have. Maybe you're offering this, maybe you're not. I'm not quite going to pull the curtain all the way back for you here. But please, we encourage you to join that webinar, and then we'll be doing on that webinar kind of a conversational experience around why these products work together, how they're seamless in their experience, and what it means for you as dealers. And then the second webinar is going to be at the end of the month by Brilliant. So just myself, we'll be doing a deeper dive into what this experience is, a deeper dive into the products and the ecosystem of what it means. So a couple nice, exciting things lined up in November for you really to be in the loop of everything that we're working on the back end. So with that, please, I hope you've been populating some questions there into the chat. I'm going to look in and open it up now. But again, if you have questions, throw them into the chat. And it looks like we have one that was asked. How can you turn on off for reset purpose? I know you answered that, but just in case. And it looks like he confirmed he got the answer. So yeah, Brilliant, you can configure it to an on-off configuration. That's just during the initial setup. Again, if you need to reconfigure that light entirely, that is done directly from the control, not done from the app. So I'd physically go to my Brilliant control, go to my lighting, and go to the settings gear or the little pencil icon next to that light, and you can hit reconfigure. When you hit reconfigure, it'll run through all its tests, and you can select dimmable light or specific on-off. So you can turn it for an on-off if you need to. Easy as that. Great question there. Anything else on the questions for the Q&A? Please send me the web invitation for November 11th. Of course, Manny. Hey, Manuel. Glad to see you on here. Yep, so I'll grab that information from Ring because it is Ring's webinar. So I'm a guest on the Ring webinar. If you're not a partner of theirs, you can always sign up to be a partner of theirs. You can email me for any of that communication to reach out to them. But that's their webinar series that I'm fortunate enough to be a guest on. But yep, that's for, I believe, double check. I said November the 11th. It should be a Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday, November the 11th at 10 o'clock West Coast time, PST is when that is. But perfect, we'll get that over for you. Looks like we do have a couple other answered questions that are in there, which is perfect. Thank you so much on the back end for helping out. But it's all good there. Anything else on the questions? Is the app for ProView a standalone app separate from the normal app? No, it's not a standalone app. It is the same Brilliant app. So when you log in, it's that same orange login button that you've always had. And it's just, hey, we flagged that email as a ProView account email. So if you're already always logged into your app, which generally you are, once you email us and say, hey, I want to associate these emails and my email to my ProView account, you'll automatically get that change on the back end. So it's not a separate app download. It's the normal Brilliant app that you have. For a search function, no major search function in the app right now, so it would be just set up alphabetically for you within that as in the app as you're looking into the homes. Something we're researching and looking to make it better because we know that this can very quickly escalate as you have more clients, as you have more homes, or hey, maybe you've deployed an entire community and you want to go back and get access to that community. 100% we understand a search feature is probably going to be necessary, so we'll be bringing that in probably sooner rather than later, but that's a great feature request. Good stuff. Anything else? Looks like that was answered. Wemo is getting discontinued in their cloud. Do you know if we will be able to integrate their switches using SmartThings? That's a great question. So if they're discontinuing their cloud, so I haven't heard about this, so I'm just kind of thinking logistically here. If they're still integrating locally into SmartThings, theoretically, SmartThings should then be able to tie it into Brilliant. I'm curious to see what cloud access is available though, because that is a local integration that we discover live on the Wi-Fi. However, configuring new devices, that had generally been sent to their cloud. So I'd be curious if they're discontinuing their cloud, what that happens for new devices. I don't know if new Wemo devices will be coming out or if they're discontinuing the brand entirely. Because that initial account creation is done through their cloud, and then it's a local discovery on Brilliant. So all the existing Wemos that are there should be able to be locally discovered. It will be interesting to see what's happening as far as that cloud side for new devices. But if you can still create an account for those devices within SmartThings, yes, you would be able to still pull those in through SmartThings. So for existing devices, that's local, but for new ones you might be configuring and setting up, whatever account creation cloud is done, because that doesn't need to be registered, they would then be able to be tied in through SmartThings. So, but something that we'll be digging into deeper. I'm not sure if you had a date for when that's happening, but we'll definitely keep our eyes peeled for when that's alive. And that's important for me too, because I have a couple Wemo smart plugs I use in addition to Brilliant smart plugs for my Christmas lights and a couple of outdoor lights. So great question there. Then Michael, let's see, can a scene be made to turn off a group of lights and then be pressed again to shut them off? Seems like you need a second scene to do that. That's a great one. Yeah, I agree, Michael. So right now we cannot do that for like a toggle scene on, toggle scene off, or a secondary press to invert the scene, even if it's just for lights. Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. The closest that we have is you can set a group of lights and then assign that group of lights to a slider. So when you create a group of lights that acts as one light, you assign that one light to the slider. We know it's that single group. So now the group of lights are either they're dimmable, they're all dimming together up and down, or tap to turn it on, tap to turn it off would work. If you want to use the shortcut tiles though, then yes, it would have to be two separate scene creations. So the kind of workaround there is if it's strictly going to be lights and you know all the lights are going to do the same thing, you can create that as a group of lights and assign that group to a slider on Brilliant. If you're worried about, hey, what about that slider then? That slider's controlling, this specific light that I'm wired to. You can always remap the single finger gesture on Brilliant. So that screen pad is capacitive touch, and I do that oftentimes in my kitchen. I'll set the single finger gesture to be that first lighting load that would be my first slider. So then it's like, hey, my slider controls the lights or my screen swipe. Well, that's redundant. Now, because I made the gesture that lighting load, I can remap that first slider to be the group of lights. But yeah, something we're looking, I think, Michael, and other things I've explored and have recommended as a feature upgrade would be being able to, pause automation on a scene. So for example, if you're going on vacation, you don't want to have to completely delete your start work scene, something like that. The ability to pause a scene, that way you're not manually having to deal with that each day. So that's a great feature request, something that's on the list. I don't have a timeline for when that's coming live. But keep them coming. The more you request it, the more we're likely to build it. So we want that feedback for you because, again, that's a helpful tool for you and your clients. More details under the Belkin. Thank you, Arthur. Appreciate that. I'm going to copy that and not paste in here because you don't need to see that. But I've copied that so I can now plug it in and get a little more detail. Appreciate that. Thank you. Looking like that is about it. Not seeing anything else on questions. So thank you so much, everybody, for hopping on. I hope you got some value out of this. I know we're excited to see the requests come in to ProView at brilliant.tech. Keep those feature requests coming though. Whichever ones are kind of top priority on that list of, hey, this is what we want to see next, chances are we're going to be building that out next. So taking your feedback has been paramount into making, this version of Brilliant the best version of Brilliant that it can be for you. And we take that very seriously. So again, we've been able to deliver, making sure it's pro only, making sure we're building the products that you want, like PoE, delivering on the features that you want. Now you have a remote dashboard and management tool that's completely free. All part of the journey, and we're excited for what the rest of the year and 2026 has in store. So have any further questions, reach out to me, oki@brilliant.tech. Some of you already have my phone number. It's there. It's available for you. It's in my email signature if we've ever had any conversation. But with that, that wraps it up for the ProView webinar on Brilliant. Have a fantastic, what day is today? Tuesday, Thursday? I don't even know my days. Today is Thursday. Have a fantastic Thursday. Happy Halloween. If you're dressing up, have fun with it. Enjoy the kiddos. Enjoy people coming around to the house. But with that, I'll set you on your way, and have a great one, everybody. Take care.